Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Today we are going to look at the solo to the slow version of Don't Believe a Word by Thin Lizzy. Well, actually this one's Gary Moore, but Don't Believe a Word, the actual fast version was Thin Lizzy. But this slow version, when they played it live, or Gary Moore or anyone would play it live, they would generally lead into the faster version. Both structures are, I think, pretty much exactly the same, except one's faster and has some riffs and more rocky, and this one is slower. I love the solo in this though, which is why we're going to go through it. And we'll start to lead into the solo with this lick, which basically is just over a semitone bend, I would say, on the 7th fret of the G. You don't have to be too exact about it, just get that bluesy sound. Don't want to bend a full tone. And then we pull off to the 5th fret, give it a bit of a blues curl, and then 7-5-7 on the D. That's the intro lick to the solo, or the outro of the, I guess, you know, the progression previous. Now this lick for the start of the solo sounds like this. Okay, it kind of starts, I think it's on the 2 and beat, so it'll be a 1 and 2 and. So maybe think of it like that. Now what that is going to be 7th fret on the D, and then 7th fret on the G, bend it up a little bit, just over semitone again, probably. Don't have to be too exact, but there we go. And then after that we'll play the 7th fret again. And then it'll be, cheers, 5-7 on the G, and then end with this. Kind of those two notes quite close together, kind of quick. It'll be 5th fret on the B, 7th fret on the D. And apply some vibrato, hold that note for a little bit, and then we are going to go, okay, which is 5th fret on the G and 7th fret on the D. A little bit of vibrato, we don't hold that note too long, we slide down. Right, so this run section, which is next, sounds like this slowly. I'll of course provide the tab underneath for people who just want to see the tab. Now, this is the way I would look at this little run. 2 chunks of 3 notes, 1 chunk of 2 notes, and 3 notes at the end, then the slide and last note. So it's kind of weird, but you'll feel that that's kind of the rhythm. At least that's the way I think about it. So we have the 3, 4, 5 on the A, and then the 8th fret. So it'll be, okay. So that's, I use my first finger, all downstrokes. Then I go. Okay, that's 8th fret on the A, 5th fret on the D, and then I pick the 5th fret and slide into the 7th fret. Okay, so the 5th net is really a grace note there that we slide in from. Then I go. Okay, which is 10th fret on the D and 7th fret on the G. Then next 3 notes are, I move my first finger up here, quick slide. You don't really want to get the slide sound though, but it doesn't matter that much. It's the 10th fret of the G and the B, and then 13th fret. And then play that 13th fret and slide to the 15th. And with the 12th fret on the high E. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, slide, pick. So generally I use a lot of downstrokes. So when I'm switching strings I go down, up. Okay, that's a down, up. Then, so that'll be down, up, up. They're the key parts. Other than that it's downstrokes. So sometimes I do 2 upstrokes in a row, like here. But it doesn't matter, again, it's not very fast, so just figure out what is the best for you. Generally, when I'm switching strings, I'll go down, up. That's the main thing. Right, next lick sounds like this. I apply a pretty fast vibrato on that last note. Now, the first 3 notes, all upstrokes by the way, 5, 7 on the high E, then bend that 7th note up after we pick it again, a semitone. And then we go. So that'll be up, up, down on the 7th, and then 5th fret on the high E, and then 5th fret on the B. And then full tone bend on the 8th fret of the B. Vibrato. A little tip here when you're applying vibrato. I use my thumb and middle finger here to hold the note above and below, or the string above and below the one we're applying vibrato to. That stops a lot of noise. Okay. If I don't do that, we get this. Well, actually, still sounding good in that spot, but a lot of the time you'll get kind of the string above kind of starting to vibrate with it, and sometimes the string below. But it's just a good thing to do. Bad example there, but hey. Anyway, the next lick sounds like this slowly. Right, I will have put tab underneath that, but basically we're starting with this. Okay, 5, 7, 8, 7 on the high E. I use upstrokes for this. And just kind of cut those notes off a little bit with upstrokes. That's why I use them. Then, which is a quick hammer-on pull-off from the 5th to 7th to 5th. And then 8th fret on the B, okay? Then it's, which is 5 on the high E, 8 pulled off to 5th on the B. Then it's, which is a bend on the 7th fret, full tone on the G. And then 5th fret on the B and high E. Okay? So it's, that's where we're up to. And then it's, okay? Which is 8th fret pull off to 5th on the B. Then 8, slide to 7, pull off to 5 on the G. And then 7 on the D. And then we have the final part, okay, which is 7th fret on the G, and then 5th fret, a little bit of a curl. You don't have to do that though. Then it's 7 on the D and A, and then a little bit of vibrato on the 5th fret of the D, and then end it with the 7th fret on the D. Okay? And that, my friends, is that phrase. Again, one of those that's difficult to talk about the timing. It's kind of again played through the timing, really, of almost free time. You know, there's no, I can't say, is this a 16th note, is that an 8th note triplet, 16th note triplet, whatever. I can't say too much about that. It's difficult with Gary Moore stuff, but just have a listen to it and try to figure out the feel of it, really. It's the main thing. I suppose when I play this in the intro to this video, it probably isn't going to be exactly phrased like Gary did it, but that's the notes, so have fun with it and see what you can do. Okay, the next phrase sounds like this. Okay, so really we're bending on the 12th fret, 3 semitones, a little bit after the beat. Okay, the second note we kind of release that bend quick as we pick it, so it's kind of like a, okay, and then we play the 10th fret of the high E, so it's, okay, and then we have, which is 13 on the B, 10, 12, 13, 12 on the high E. Again, upstrokes for those, because we're kind of cutting them off a little bit. Then we go, which is 10, hammer on to 12, pull off to 10, and then 13 on the B. Then we have, which is 10 on the high E, 10 on the B, roll the finger, and then 13th fret, bend it up. Apply some vibrato. Okay, so the next lick is like this. Okay, it's quite difficult to teach the timing of this anyway, but here's the notes slowly. So we're going to start with, okay, the first 4 notes is a down, down, up, up for some reason for me. So it's, but you can play it again however you wish. So that's 10 to 13 on the B, 10 to 12 on the high E. And then I go, which is 10 hammer on to 12, pull off the 10 on the E, and then 13 on the B. Then it's, which is 10 on the high E, 13, pull off the 10 on the B. And it's, which is 13, slide to 12, pull off the 10 on the G, and then 12 on the D. Then we have, which is 10 hammer on to 12 on the G, and then upstroke here on the 10th fret of the B, and then downstroke 12, pull off the 10 on the G, and then 12 on the D. Okay? And then that is a pull off again to the 10th fret, and then same on the A. Is it a pull off or is it a slide? Let's try playing it. A lot of these things are kind of muscle memory. Okay. Yeah, it's a 12th fret, slide to 10th fret, and then pull off to 8th fret on the A. And then we go. Okay, which is 10th fret on the low E, and then I go. Okay, which is 8 on the A, and then 10 on the E twice. Then it's 8, and then 10, slide to 12. 10, hammer on to 12 on the D now. Then we have 9, hammer on to 10, hammer on to 12 on the G. Okay, so far we have on the bottom, we have. Then I start picking these notes. We have 10, 12, 13 on the B and then the high E. And then apply some nice vibrato on that 15th fret, bent up a full tone. So then we have, okay, so it's 15 to 12 on the high E, and then bend up 15th fret on the B, and then we go, which is 12 on the high E, and then 14 on the G. Oops. So apply some vibrato to that, and then we kind of blues curl the 13th fret of the B. Okay. So that's that phrase. Again, kind of a quick pace, but we're kind of slowing down the speed on the end of that run up a little bit. Okay. So it's kind of. Can you hear the kind of slowing down there? So you want to practice that, really, that ascending run. Right, the final section of this solo, basically we start on a little arpeggio, but it sounds like this anyway. Okay? Which is basically kind of outlining a D minor arpeggio. Okay, it's basically a D minor arpeggio outlined. So we're starting on the 19th fret of the G, then 18th fret of the B, 17th fret of the high E. I go down, down, up. And then the last two notes are upstrokes as well, and that is going to be 20 to 22 on the high E, of course. Then we go twice, a bend up on the 22nd fret, a full tone. And then we release that, and then try to release it and pull off to the 20th fret. This can be quite difficult. It's a bit of a squeeze for the fingers there. So as I'm bending that down, or releasing the bend, I kind of slide my first finger underneath to that 20th fret to kind of get it in, kind of like a. You can see that finger moving there. It's hard because of the size of the frets there, a bit of a squeeze. So you might want to practice just doing that. And then we hammer on 20th to 22nd and apply some vibrato. Slide down. So the last part's pretty simple. Again, it's just getting that feel, really, the phrasing. Okay, well that kind of wraps up this solo. Hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and I didn't miss any parts out this time. I did make a video of this a while back. Obviously the quality would have been lower with this audio and visual, and I did miss out a couple of sections. Not sure how I managed to do that, but anyway, here we are. I've redone the video. Hopefully this time it's all fine, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.